Hello，你好，Welcome back，欢迎回来，Wisdom Wednesday with Johnny Tiger. The date is November 28, 2024. I'm sure every single person who's ever watched this video have had experience with toothache. Yeah, I had two bouts of toothache this year. Once back in March, and that was horrible. That was the first time I actually heard of Oragel. For those of you who never used it, it's a lifesaver. Like really, put when you have a toothache, especially when it's really bad, get a dab of Oragel and put it around the tooth and on the where the root is, and oh, it's like so much better. And I used to think that as a man, I need to tough it out. Like be a man. It's just a toothache. You just ride the pain and revel in the pain and all that stuff. But then a doctor actually told me. I don't know if it's true or not, but it makes sense. A doctor actually told me that when you do that, when you're in a lot of pain and you don't do anything about it, you are actually slowing down your body healing because most of your body's energy and concentration and focus is now going towards pain management. Uh, your brain is getting overwhelmed with sending out and receiving all this pain signal, and this actually stop your body from healing properly. And not to mention, when you're in so much pain, you don't sleep properly, and the only time your body really heal is when you sleep. So when you're not sleeping because of the pain, guess what? Your body's not healing. So that's when I realized, yeah, the whole idea of tough it out like a man and just suffer the pain in stoic silence is nonsense, because then all you do is slowing down your own healing process. So my first toothache this year was back in March, and then the second one was just last month, right before when Kitten left to go back to California. I don't know if it was the stress or something like that. Come to think of it, it's really weird because back in March when I had the toothache, it was when I left Kitten and came back to Canada, and then this time when I got the toothache was right before Kitten left me to go back to California. So it's like every time I have to say goodbye to kitten, I get a toothache. Yeah, because other people get broken heart, I get toothache. And this time, good thing I had the Oragel ready, and kitten actually went and bought me a whole bunch more, so I wouldn't have to ration it. And it lasted for, I would say, 3 days. It only got bad for 3 days, but holy crap, was it bad! Like it was really really awful. So, as I was saying, I'm sure everyone watched this video have had toothache, and you can relate to how awful it can get when you have a toothache. So, it is in the spirit of our oral hygiene that today we are going to take a look at the invention of the toothbrush and how ancient Chinese people take care of their oral hygiene. And yes, toothbrush invented in China. This is a proven fact, so you can actually find out about that on Google. So you know I'm not just saying that. Um, Before we get into it, let's look at some of the vocabulary around uh, oral hygiene. Number one, toothbrush. It's called 牙刷, 牙刷, Y-A-S-U-A, or S-W-A, Y-A-S-W, 牙刷, Y-A-S-W-A, 牙刷. 牙 means teeth. Uh, 刷 means brush. So toothbrush, 牙刷. Toothpaste, 牙膏. Again, with the 牙 means tooth, teeth, and then paste, 膏, G-O, G-A-O, 膏, means cream, paste, that kind of consistency. So 牙膏 is a toothpaste. Uh, Toothpick 牙签 again teeth tooth 签 CHAN means slivers of wood. 牙签 is slivers of wood. uh, Wood shaving, twig, something like that. So 牙签 is a toothpick. To floss your teeth is 剔牙, 剔牙, T-E-E-Y-A, 剔牙, T means to scrape, to clean, to floss, and ya, of course, teeth. T, so 剔牙 is to floss your teeth. Uh, to rinse your mouth is 漱口, S-U, S-H-U, and then K-O, 漱口, 漱口, 漱. Uh, to shu means to swish water around your mouth, and this is one of those words that probably derived from the way it sounds. So when you're swishing the water around your mouth, so you're gonna make a shu sound. So 漱口 means mouth. The 漱口 means to rinse your mouth. So as a relation to that, mouthwash is called 漱口水. 漱口水. So again, 漱口 means to rinse your mouth. 水 means liquid, water, fluid. So 漱口水 is mouthwash. Next time you want to go to the store, now you know how to buy 牙刷, toothbrush, 牙膏, toothpaste, 牙签, toothpick, and also 漱口水, mouthwash. Incidentally, when you just want to refer to your teeth or your tooth, you will say, you can say ya, but Chinese people in our language, we prefer two syllables. So you say ya chi, ya chi, Y-A-C-H-E, ya chi. Chi means like the teeth or the tooth, and like a saw blade, the serration. The ya means tooth in our mouth. So 牙齿 basically, yeah, it means your teeth. It's a full, uh, the full name for teeth. If you want to go to the dentist, if you're looking for a dentist, then dentist is called 牙医, Y-A-Y-E, 牙医, teeth doctor. Yi means doctor, healer. So 牙医 is a dentist. Incidentally, funny enough, nowadays when we go to Chinese restaurant, we see that usually, especially high-end restaurant, they always bring out toothpick at the end of the meal, and you see Chinese people just sitting around the table, everyone flossing and picking their teeth, and it's perfectly fine. Like white people get really self-conscious. Oh God, that's something you should do in private. Not for Chinese people. Chinese people, we are not ashamed of cleaning our teeth. We can do it as a group activity, no problem. I mean, honestly, when you live in a culture, in a society where it's like constantly dealing with overpopulation, then there's a lot of things you wouldn't be really shy about because there's always going to be people everywhere. And there's a lot of group activities. There's very little private space, very little privacy. So that's why Chinese people are not shy about things like flossing or picking our teeth in public. And not to mention, when you're doing it, then everybody know you got a clean mouth. If you just do it in private and no one know about it, then how's people supposed to know? Like they can tell if they smell you have bad breath or something, but you know, at least if you do it in public, everybody can see. Oh yeah, he did do it. So some of you probably think that I'm going to tell you that toothpick came from China. Actually, it did not. Interestingly enough, toothpick started with, as far as I know, in Europe with the white folks, with the Caucasian people. Uh, Toothpick used to be a thing of status back in the when it was first invented. Back then, a lot of rich people, lords and ladies, kings and queens, they would actually have a little case hanging on their neck like a pendant that they would have a toothpick in that they would use. And that's not the kind of toothpick that you use and throw away. No, back then the toothpicks they were made of uh, emerald and diamond and silver and gold. They were reusable. Okay, you do not throw that away. Queen Elizabeth used to wear a toothpick on her necklace. A lot of people didn't know that they thought it was just some kind of jewelry, but yeah, Queen Elizabeth used to have a toothpick that she wore on her necklace and with her everywhere she went. So when toothpicks first came out, only rich people could afford it. And finally, some nuns, some missionary sisters, uh, when they were going to other countries to pass on the word of God, they gradually invented the cheaper toothpick that we know today, carved out of wood or bamboo, and they could pass to the poor people that they were helping. Because when they were going to a lot of the more poor nations and hate to say this, third world countries, um, they noticed that a lot of people there had really bad oral hygiene. And one of the reasons because they didn't take care of their teeth. So the missionaries they started to try to devise a way to help these people at least uh, minimally be able to take care of flossing and picking their teeth every day. That this is led to the invention of toothpick, which gradually got into China and became an instant sensation with Chinese people. Because in case if you didn't know that, Chinese people has always been pretty obsessed with oral hygiene, and you'll hear more about that as we continue today's episode. So let's take a look at what did Chinese people do to take care of their teeth. Throughout Chinese history, one of the biggest thing that people did was the idea to rinse their mouth regularly after every meal, after they ate stuff. First thing they did when they get up in the morning, and the thing they did when they were going to bed. Incidentally, for Chinese people, there were four things that they would use to rinse their mouth with. These were tea and alcohol, salt, and water. Now, some people to say, really? Tea? Yes. I don't know how many of you go to Chinese functions, but a lot of time when you go to Chinese functions, at the end of your meal, they'll bring you a glass of tea. Now, most people just assume that they want you to drink that. Traditionally, you're not supposed to drink it. Traditionally, that last cup of tea is for you to rinse your mouth after you eat. There's the tea has enough strength in it to kill off a lot of acidity in your mouth. So it neutralizes the acidity in your mouth. Any sugar, any kind of sour, acidy stuff that's left in your mouth from eating. And as a lot of us know, it is usually the sugar, the acid, the sour in your mouth that create problem for your teeth, that break down the integrity of your teeth. So by drinking, by not drinking, but by swishing tea around your mouth after eating a meal, you will use that tea to neutralize a lot of that stuff. And you're not supposed to drink that. You're supposed to just swish it around your mouth, like just like you're using mouthwash. and then you gently and discreetly uh, let the tea back into the cup and just leave that cup there on the table. So usually when you see someone who drink that tea, it's people who don't really know the Chinese tradition. That last cup of tea is not for drinking; it is for uh, to rinsing your mouth with. Of course, honestly, most of the tea nowadays served in Chinese restaurants are really not strong enough to serve that purpose anyway. So it's okay to just go ahead and drink it. The real tea that used for rinsing your mouth have to be very strong, very bitter, pretty high-end stuff, which is why traditionally only rich people, only rich family could afford to use tea to rinse their mouth. A lot of time when you watch Chinese movie, you'll see people serve tea the first thing in the morning, like they get out of bed, and their maid or their servant will bring them a cup of tea. Again, that's not for you to drink. That's not. It's not like, hey, okay, good morning. Here, have a cup of tea. No, that cup of tea is the same purpose. It's for you to rinse your mouth when you get up in the morning, and you do that after every meal, after you get up in the morning, before you go to bed. After tea, then it's alcohol. Now this one goes without saying. Everybody know that alcohol have a antiseptic property, and it can kill off a lot of bacteria in your mouth. Uh, in fact, I'll tell you guys this: there before I discovered Orajel, one of my proven way to deal with toothache was to drink beer. I actually don't drink beer very often, but if I have a really bad toothache, I'll go out of my way to drink beer. Uh, Number one, because of the coldness of the beer would bring the inflammation down in your mouth, and also the alcohol content in the beer will take care of killing off a lot of the bacteria in your mouth. Now, obviously, you want to rinse your mouth off with water afterwards because there's other stuff in beer that can help those bacteria come back later. But the moment you put alcohol in your mouth, it will take care of a lot of bacteria. I'm not trying to promote drinking on the channel, but if you have a toothache and if it's bacterial related, then alcohol really is a good way. You don't have to drink it. You can just swish it around your mouth and then spit it out if you want, which is how ancient Chinese people used to do. They again in a lot of movies you see people get out of bed and immediately they're brought some ale or some rice wine, and people used to think, oh wow, Chinese people they drink first thing in the morning. No, that's again that's the wrong portrayal on TV. You're not supposed to drink that. You're supposed to just switch that around your mouth and then spit it out. In traditional Chinese wedding, right before you get to the good part, right before you get to the two of you go into the room and do your thing, like at the very end of the ceremony, a glass of wine is usually brought out, and the uh, bride and the groom each have to take a big mouthful of that in their mouth and swish it around, and then spit it out. So there's even a tradition to use alcohol to rinse your mouth before you get to the intimate sex part of the marriage, just to make sure that your mouth is clean. So that's how obsessed the Chinese people were with regarding to oral hygiene that they even make that part of your marriage wedding ceremony. Now, for people who are low income, obviously alcohol and tea would be out of their reach. So people would use either salt, or if you can't even afford salt, then at least rinse with water multiple times a day, and that's better than nothing. Even if it's just water, it will help you keep a clean mouth. a lot of people don't know that when you have a wet mouth, it's good for you because it cuts down on the bacteria breeding. When your mouth is dry, such as when you're sleeping and you wake up and you got that cotton mouth going on, that's when your mouth is like a dry, warm place. It's like a prime breeding ground for bacteria. So saliva is actually good for you. Having saliva in your mouth, drinking enough water, having a moist mouth is a good way to neutralize the acidity level and kill off the bacteria in your mouth. So for poor family who couldn't afford salt or alcohol or tea, people would at least use water to rinse their mouth multiple times a day. Before the invention of toothbrush, a lot of Chinese people started to brush their teeth. And what they would do is they would put medicine or salt on their finger. I'm sure a lot of us, especially guys growing up, going to summer camp, forget to pack your toothbrush and you go out the hell with it. And you just squeeze the toothpaste on your finger and brush it that way. Well, that's how Chinese people used to do it for thousands of years before the invention of toothbrush. There's even old cave painting in the northwestern China. Of this painting depicts a Buddhist ceremony, and there's a very muscular young man standing there, and he just had his head shaved to become a monk, and then in the painting he's shown brushing his teeth using his finger. So uh, if a cave painting from 5 or 6 thousand years ago already shown a person taking care of their dental hygiene, we know for sure that people were very diligent in practicing that. Now, speaking of Buddhist monk, the Buddhist monk from ancient India uh, had their way of taking care of their oral hygiene as well. The ancient Buddhist monk, uh, a lot of time to prevent having bad breath while they're conducting prayers and uh, their ceremonies, they would use medicinal twigs from medicinal antibacterial plants. They will use these twigs to floss their teeth, or they will chew on these twigs, so it get rid of the bacteria in their mouth. Incidentally, a lot of people don't know that when you're a devout Buddhist, you are not allowed to eat offensive vegetable. So people think Buddhists are vegetarian and you eat all the vegetables. No, in fact, when people say uh, in Mandarin, we say when you're Buddhist, you have to 戒荤. 戒荤 means to quit um, 荤. Now, a lot of people think 荤 means meat, and it's been kind of miscommunicated that way. But the very original, when Buddha told people to 戒荤, Buddha meant to not eat anything that will make your breath offensive. So it got nothing to do with meat. When Buddha said to 戒荤, Buddha meant no onion, no hot pepper, no acidy stuff, no garlic, no nothing that, which is kind of interesting when you think that I not me I'm not being racist with toward our Indian friend, but when Buddhism is from India, and the whole thing is about don't have offensive smell from your mouth. How did curry get invented? Like, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so even ancient Buddhist monks had their own system with regarding to oral hygiene, and that was to use medicinal twigs and to avoid eating offensive vegetables. Now, let's get to toothbrush. So when did toothbrush get invented? Well, toothbrush was invented somewhere around the end of the 1400s. so maybe in the beginning of the 1500s, by the Ming Dynasty Emperor uh, Zhu Youtang. Zhu Youtang. Zhu Youtang was the 10th emperor, emperor number 10 from the Ming Dynasty. Widely considered to be a very good emperor, very kind to his people, very diligent to his work. Now, one day, Zhu Youtang suddenly came down with a really bad case of toothache. And when the royal physician came to see him, the royal physician said, "Oh, Your Majesty, you have been skipping uh, rinsing your mouth, haven't you? You haven't been rinsing your mouth." And Zhu Youtang was a bit embarrassed, and he said, "Well, well, I'm working every day. It's hard being an emperor. Every day I get up and I have to conduct meetings. I have to sign papers. I have to sign treaties. I have to go meet with delegates from other countries, other nations. I have to do this. I have to do that. When do I have time to stop and rinse my mouth?" And the royal physician said, "Well, Your Majesty, your teeth are are rotting because when you eat, there's going to be food get caught between your teeth, and when you don't rinse, these food stay in the cavities and in between your teeth and near the root, and they will make your teeth rot, and that's why you have a toothache." So after the physician left, Zhu Youtang, the emperor, started to think, well, okay, if I don't have time to rinse my mouth throughout the day, what if there's a way, what if there's a device that I can use to remove all these crumbs and gunk out of my teeth, and I just have to do it once a day, maybe twice a day if I have time, but something that I can do it once and then it will remove everything from my teeth. So he started experimenting, and he commissioned a bunch of artists and artisans and workers to experiment, and they invented this long, skinny bamboo handle, and they drilled a bunch of holes on one end of the bamboo handle and uh, put uh, the hair from the pig through that, because he wanted something that's not too soft, because you need something stiff enough to scrape your teeth, but you don't want something so hard that's going to hurt your the inside of your mouth either. So they came to the conclusion that bristles from a pig was the best solution, and so Zhu Youtang was credited for inventing toothbrush for Chinese people. And there's a book published that documented 300 greatest invention in human history, and one of those things was the toothbrush, and it was credited to the Chinese Emperor Zhu Youtang. Thank you for checking out today's episode. I hope you guys had fun. I'll be back again tomorrow for Toy Thursday. For now, 谢谢 and 再见。